busy day for Congresswoman Haley Stevens.
I got a copy of H.R. 944. Do you know what it is? It's your impeachment articles, sir. You have abused your office, you have gutted America's public health, and you have sacrificed our leadership in medical research and innovation. Americans today are less safe under your watch. Children are dying of diseases that we thought we had eradicated. You can smirk, sir, but I answer to the people of Michigan, and they have told me you should be ashamed, you should resign, and if you refuse, Congress should remove you from office. I yield back.
Fired up there, Congresswoman Haley Stevens from the great state of Michigan, joining us now here on 760 WJR. Also, of course, running for the Democratic nomination to be the next United States Senator from this state. Congresswoman, how are you?
Hey, it's nice to connect with you.
Absolutely.
Hard at work out here.
I'm telling you. Tell me a little bit about that interaction with Health and Human Services Secretary RFK. What was the hearing about, and your line of questioning? What were you trying to get across there?
Well, look, it's budget season in Washington, so he's coming up at the request of Congress on behalf of this administration. But we know that Michiganders, the American people, have been shut out, that there has been very little accountability, healthcare cuts, attacks on scientific research, ballooning cases, outbreaks of measles and other diseases that we thought we have come close to eradicating. And so I had to take the 5 minutes that I got for accountability and to showcase that we have to have scientific integrity. We have to follow the scientific method. Instead, we are getting conspiracy theories and a self-serving agenda. It was met with a pompous response, which was deeply frustrating, and people in Michigan need to know who's fighting for them, and that's me. I'm fighting for them every single day because their health care, their lives are on the lines due to these conspiracy theories that are running a multi-billion-dollar health agency here in the United States of America. I don't just sit on the Education and Labor Committee. I'm also a former vice chair of the Science Committee. I played a lead role in passing the CHIPS and Science Act. So I know all about the scientific integrity and what that means for Michiganders.
Talking to Congresswoman Haley Stevens. Congresswoman, just the whole process of what happens in Congress. I think to myself, what can actually get solved in a 5-minute conversation? What happens behind closed doors? Do you and the secretary get a chance to talk about this stuff aside from that 5 minutes? Because, whether it's this interaction or any other of these open hearings that we see, it's like 5 minutes, nothing gets solved. How can we get together and actually solve problems, though? Because, these 5-minute interactions, it's really difficult to get anything done, is it not? I mean, I know that's the process, but...
Yeah, and I appreciate the deep thinking and the probing. Look, as the most effective Democratic lawmaker for Michigan in the Congress, the most effective member of Congress for science and tech issues, I can tell you exactly how things get done. We go through a real process of evaluating bills, of having hearings, of looking at problems and how to solve them, going through an amendment process. But what we have seen this entire administration, and particularly under RFK Jr.'s leadership, has been abuses of power at the expense of Michiganders' health and safety. It is an outrage. Look, RFK Jr. might not have to respond to families who are in tears, who are being pushed to a breaking point because of cuts to clinical trials, to cancer research. He might not have to answer to Michiganders who are working on pediatric cancer research, but I am doing that. And so, of course, I'm going to use, the the will and the exercising of our democracy in a congressional hearing to push for accountability. I know exactly what it takes to get bills done. I was there holding the gavel when we passed tips in science in the law through the Science Committee.
Congresswoman, let me ask you about, while we're talking about health and human services in that department, let me ask you about Erica Schwartz, Dr. Erica Schwartz. President Trump nominated the Coast Guard officer to lead the CDC. What do you make of that nomination to lead the Center for Disease Control?
Well, what we've seen is a total disregard for science, a total disregard for generations of vaccine research, of disease research, of epidemiology, firing an entire vaccine panel to put in his hand-picked people. That's not working for the people of Michigan. I've got young parents who have newborns and young children, and they are frightened. They are frustrated. I have Republican doctors coming up to me and thanking me for leading the effort to take on the impeachment of RFK Jr. I don't do so lightly, all right? But when I see things that I have been a part of, that I oversee in the Congress and as a defender of Michiganders' health and safety, we can't allow quackery to trump science. If you got questions, if you want better scientific research, then do it with scientific research, not conspiracy theory. And that's what we were getting from RFK Jr. and, unfortunately, the President of the United States.